You don't lose love when you stop holding on. You lose only the weight that was never yours. Letting go is not rejection. It's remembrance. You remember who you were before you mistook guilt for grace. And in that remembering, you return, quietly, to power. You feel the truth of these words in your bones, a low hum of recognition that has been waiting for years. It speaks of a freedom you've only dared to imagine in the quietest hours of the night. It promises a peace that doesn't require you to become harder, but softer, more real. You've been taught that letting go means failure. But what if it's the most honest kind of love you'll ever give yourself? The room is half lit by the fading afternoon sun. Slow rain whispers against the window, each drop a soft reminder of the world outside. There is an empty chair by the door, and for a moment you see it not as empty, but as open, waiting. You breathe in the stillness of the house. It's a strange mix of calm and ache, a familiar feeling you've carried for so long. You have spent years, perhaps decades, trying to keep everyone warm. You handed out blankets of your energy, your time, your agreement, even as you felt a deep chill settling into your own skin. You have mistaken your own exhaustion for devotion. You have called your silence safety. But tonight, something inside you refuses. It is not a loud rebellion. There are no angry words, no doors slammed shut. It is quieter than that. It is a slow, steady turning inward, a decision made without announcement. There is a kind of power that does not need to shout. It simply stops explaining itself. You begin to wonder why peace sometimes feels like such a profound loss. You feel the hidden cost of staying nice for far too long, the slow erosion of your own center. And a quiet mystery begins to form in your mind, a gentle question that holds no judgment. What remains when everything unnecessary has been released? Sometimes your greatest act of love is to stop rescuing what keeps you small. This is not a lesson in becoming calmer. This is an invitation to remember that the calm was never gone. It was only buried. Letting go without guilt is not a cold detachment. It is a sacred clarity. It is the practice of honoring your own limits without closing your heart to the world. This matters. It matters because you have carried the weight of other people's comfort on your shoulders for too long. You have been loyal to your own depletion, mistaking the ache of overgiving for the warmth of love. And yet, beneath the hum of constant guilt, something gentler waits for you. It is a peace that no longer apologizes for existing. You were taught that guilt is proof of goodness, a sign that you have a tender heart, but you are beginning to see that it is often just proof of an imbalance, a signal that you have given away more than you had. The world tells you to push harder, to win the argument, to prove your point, but you don't find peace by winning. You find it by stopping. You find it in the sacred pause before the answer, in the quiet refusal to join the chaos. When you stop trying to earn your worth through endless service, life begins to breathe through you again. You start to notice the small mercies, the steam rising in a spiral from your cup of tea, the soft light resting on the back of your hands, the sound of your own steady breath, filling the quiet room. Letting go is not cold. It is a warm, honest act. It is the kind that frees both the keeper of the key and the one who waits behind the door. You are learning that this quiet is not empty. It is full. Peace doesn't arrive when you're finally done with all your tasks. It arrives when you stop pretending you must deserve it. The descent into this knowing can feel like falling. You begin to see the shadow side of your own kindness, the emotional exhaustion you have always disguised as care. You see the patterns now, with a gentle, aching clarity. You replay conversations in your mind long after they are over, searching for the one perfect thing you could have said. You edit yourself in real time, sanding down your own truth, so it doesn't scrape against anyone else's comfort. You hear yourself say it's fine when your chest is burning with a quiet, unnamed resentment. You wake up in the morning already tired, as if you have been carrying invisible weights in your sleep. You realize the peace you lost was not stolen from you. You gave it away piece by piece every time you said yes to guilt instead of yes to yourself. You gave it away in small, polite gestures that cost you more than anyone knew. The memory of the paradox returns, but this time with a new shadow. You don't find peace by winning. You find it by stopping. But stopping feels like loss before it feels like freedom. The silence it creates can feel deafening at first. Your cup of tea sits on the table beside you, now cold and untouched. A clock ticks somewhere in the house, a steady rhythm filling the vast silence. You catch your reflection in the dark window pane. Her face looks patient. She is waiting for you. You sit on the edge of your bed, the phone glowing in your hand, its blue light painting your face in the dark. A message is half typed on the screen. Another apology you do not owe. Another explanation for a boundary you are finally bravely trying to hold. Your thumb hovers over the send button. Then you stop. You simply delete the words, one by one. The stillness that follows is heavy. Then strangely it feels holy. You're not broken for wanting peace. You're just tired of mistaking guilt for love. You begin to notice the quiet exits. They are not grand departures announced with trumpets and declarations. Leaving doesn't always mean walking away from a person or a place. Sometimes it means walking inward. It is a subtle shift, a quiet refusal to participate in the old dance. You find yourself stopping in the middle of an explanation. You realize the person you are talking to is not seeking to understand, but only to be right. So you let a gentle silence hold the space instead. The need to be seen, to be validated, begins to dissolve like sugar in water. It was never a thirst for water, only for sweetness. Stillness moves more than struggle. You choose silence not as a weapon, but as a sanctuary. You no longer chase being understood by those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your peace becomes more important than their agreement. The air feels different, lighter. You notice the wind moving the curtains at the slightly open window, a soft, living breath entering the room. It is a reminder that the world continues even when you stop pushing against it. Peace doesn't slam the door. It simply stops holding it open for the chaos to enter. You are learning to trust that your own quiet knowing is enough. There is a moment you remember clearly. Your friend calls, their voice a whirlwind of panic and urgency. The chaos is familiar. It is a storm they create again and again, and you have always been the harbor. You have always offered solutions, soothed their fears, and taken on their frantic energy as your own. But this time is different. You listen, you breathe, you do not absorb the storm. You simply witness it. And when they finally pause for breath, you say softly, "I trust you'll find what you need." Then you end the call and set the phone down. There is no coldness in the act, only a deep, abiding calm. You're allowed to choose quiet over convincing. You then begin to understand the guilt signal for what it is. For years you believed that flicker of unease, that pang of guilt, was your conscience speaking. You thought it was a moral compass guiding you back to being good, being kind, being helpful. Now you see it differently. Guilt is not guidance. It is the echo of old conditioning. It is the ghost of a younger you who was taught that her worth was measured by her usefulness to others. The hum of guilt in your body is just a habit, a well-worn neural pathway that lights up when you dare to choose yourself. Guilt fades when truth takes its place. You notice it most when you try to rest. You sit with a book and a warm drink, and an uneasy feeling begins to crawl up your spine. You feel you should be doing something productive, something useful. This feeling, you now realize, is not a sign that you are lazy. It is a sign that you are healing. You apologize for saying no, adding softeners and excuses, as if your boundary is an inconvenience you must justify. You sometimes confuse the profound calm that follows a hard choice with emptiness, because you are so accustomed to the noise of inner conflict. The steady flame of a candle on your desk becomes a teacher. It does not flicker wildly for attention, it just is. You remember declining a family invitation a few weeks ago, one you once would have accepted without a second thought. For hours afterward, guilt hummed in your chest like the background static of an old radio. You questioned yourself. You felt selfish. You almost picked up the phone to reverse your decision. But you waited, and slowly something else rose through the static. A new sound. It was the quiet, satisfying hum of your own integrity. It was the feeling of your own energy returning to you, warm and whole. You did not harm anyone. You simply honored yourself. You don't owe proof for your peace. The silence is no longer empty, it is full. Then you start to feel your soft power returning. True strength, you are discovering, is not loud. It is not aggressive or demanding. It is not the force that can win every argument or control every outcome. True strength is the calm, unwavering refusal to abandon yourself. It is the quiet anchor you drop in the middle of a storm, not to stop the storm, but to hold yourself steady within it. It is a grace that is born not of perfection, but of deep self-acceptance. Calm is a rebellion dressed as grace. The signs are subtle at first. You pause before reacting to a provocative email or a loaded comment. In that pause, you find a universe of choice. You find you do not have to pick up the rope that has been thrown to you. You can simply let it lie on the ground. You stop rescuing people from the consequences of their own chaos. You see their struggle. You can hold compassion for it, but you no longer feel the compulsive need to fix it. You understand that your intervention often prevents their growth. And most profoundly, you forgive yourself for needing distance. You see it not as failure, but as wisdom. Someone in your life tries to pull you into their storm. It is an old, familiar dance. Their drama is a magnet, and your empathy has always been the metal. You feel the pull, the familiar tightening in your stomach, the urge to jump in and make it right. But this time, you do something new. You inhale slowly. You feel the soles of your feet firm on the floor. You ground yourself in your own body, in your own quiet space, and you say, with a softness that is unbreakable, not today. The silence that follows is not awkward. It is filled with your soft power, returning to you like blood to a sleeping limb. You are not required to attend every emotional fire. Finally, you step into the truth of freedom without proof. For so long, you believed your worth was something to be demonstrated. You had to prove you were kind, prove you were hardworking, prove you were deserving of love and respect. This performance was exhausting. It was a constant, low-level hum of anxiety that underscored everything you did. You measured your value by the reactions of others. Their approval was your sun, their disappointment, your winter. But the sun was always outside of you, and you were always cold. Freedom begins where explanation ends. Now, you stop. You stop explaining your choices, you simply make them. You trust that those who are meant to be in your life will understand, not because you convinced them, but because they respect your sovereignty. You let silence hold the space that words once desperately tried to fill. You no longer measure your day by how much you accomplished or how many people you pleased. You measure it by the quality of your own inner peace. Your bare feet on the cool floor in the morning is a more reliable metric than any external praise. The simple act of opening a door to let the fresh air in feels like enough. You remember walking away from a conversation that used to trap you in endless circles. You would argue, defend, and explain, feeling more and more tangled with every word. This time, you simply said, "I don't think we see this the same way, and that's okay," and you walked away. You braced yourself for the fallout, for the anger, for the world to crack open, but nothing happened. The world didn't end, it expanded. The air rushed into your lungs, and you felt a lightness you hadn't felt in years. Your calm is the proof. Nothing louder is required. You don't find peace by winning, you find it by stopping. Now you see, stopping was the only way to begin again. And then the moment of clarity arrives. It is not a lightning bolt, but a slow dawn breaking across your inner landscape. You see it. Guilt was never your conscience. It was your training. You were trained to feel it. When you put your own needs first, you were taught to earn your right to rest, to shrink your desires behind the larger needs of others. You were conditioned to believe that a quiet life was a small life. Now you see peace for what it truly is, not laziness, but wisdom, not emptiness, but presence. It is your natural state, returning home. You realize that guilt is not a sign of your failure. It is the echo that fades when you step into your own growth. It is the sound of an old chain breaking. The paradox that once confused you now becomes your anchor. Letting go is how you finally hold on to yourself. You no longer see the past as a series of mistakes, but as a curriculum that taught you exactly what you needed to know. The opening words return, but they land differently now. You don't lose love when you stop holding on. You uncover the love that needed air to breathe. The flame of the candle on your table is steady. Your breath is slow and even. The light through the window seems warmer, softer. Peace is not found. It is remembered. You begin to weave small practices into your days, not as chores, but as acts of quiet remembrance. You practice the pause breath. When you feel the familiar surge of anxiety or obligation, you stop. You inhale gently through your nose for a count of 4. You hold your breath for just 2 counts, feeling the space you have created inside your own chest. Then you exhale slowly through your mouth, letting your shoulders fall, letting the tension drain out of your jaw. Your nervous system begins to learn that safety exists in stillness. You find yourself saying, "I need a moment, I'll answer when I feel clear." You practice the gentle no. Before you agree to something, you notice the tension in your body, the slight clenching of your stomach, the shallowing of your breath. These are your body's signals, which you now listen to as sacred messages. You breathe once before you respond. Then you say, with warmth and without a lengthy excuse, "Not now, but thank you for asking." Or simply, "No, but with love." You begin to protect your energy as your most precious resource, knowing you cannot pour from an empty vessel. You realize that a true yes can only exist in a world where no is also a clean and honored option. And you create a quiet ritual. Each evening, perhaps before you sleep, you put away one thing that carries the energy of the day, a notebook, a pile of mail, the clothes you wore. Then you light a small candle or a soft lamp. In its gentle glow, you whisper a quiet gratitude, not for what is gone, not for what you accomplished, but for what remains, for the quiet of the room, for the strength in your own heart, for the peace that is now your guest. Your body learns what closure feels like. Without drama or fanfare, you draw a line. This is where the world ends, and my peace begins. Rituals are boundaries made gentle. Your understanding of connection begins to reframe itself. You once believed connection meant constant access, instant replies, and an endless availability to the needs of others. You now see that true connection is not about access at all. It is about mutual presence. It is the quality of attention 2 people can hold for each other, even in silence, even from a distance. You know the difference now. You know there are people who leave you feeling smaller after every interaction, as though you have had to shrink yourself to fit into the space with them. And you know there are others who leave you feeling quiet, not drained. They leave you feeling more like yourself. The cost of staying nice was your own authenticity. Now you understand that kindness without depletion is the only true kindness there is. You won't become smaller just to be kept. Connection thrives when it is chosen, not chased. It deepens when it is given space to breathe. Peaceful hearts attract peace, not because they try to or because they manifest it, but because they stop pretending to be anything else. Your calm becomes a filter. It gently repels chaos and quietly invites presence. You no longer seek validation from the outside because you are building a home on the inside. The shift is complete, though it is always deepening. Guilt has transformed into clarity. Clarity has softened into peace. You no longer perform calm, you simply are calm. You walk through rooms feeling lighter, as if you have set down a heavy bag you didn't even realize you were carrying. You no longer feel the need to defend your softness or apologize for your quiet. You have stopped mistaking tension for meaning. and drama for love. The quiet mystery finds its answer. What remains when all the unnecessary things are released? You remain clearer, softer, and more real than ever before. Listen. Even the morning holds its breath with you. The peace you once feared you would lose by letting go was always your own reflection waiting for you in the still water. It doesn't need your permission to stay. Dawn is breaking. Faint, pearlescent light spills through the open window, painting the opposite wall. The room is still. There are no apologies hanging in the air, no leftover noise from yesterday's battles. There is just the clean, cool air moving softly across your face. A new day, a new way of being. The old words return one last time, reshaped by the journey you have taken. You don't lose love when you let go. You meet it again, lighter in yourself. The weight was never love. It was only the fear of its absence. Peace isn't something you find. It's what returns when you stop holding too tight. If this found you at the right time, protect one quiet boundary today.